Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cupid Parasite, and starting our new chapter in Shelby's route. Food is the spice of love. Anyway, the next morning, I woke up, and surprisingly, Mr. Snail hadn't already woken up before me. That's unusual. He usually goes to sleep after me and wakes up before I do. He's what some people call a short sleeper. To be honest, I was worried that he wasn't getting enough sleep, but knowing that he could sleep like this, I felt relieved. Yesterday really was tough. There was an intruder that didn't show up in the security footage. We heard them taking photos and they managed to escape. What was the intruder looking for? Was it someone that suspected that Mr. Snail might actually be single? I recall the magazine photo caption, President of Cupid Court, a fraud? Devoted husband or big fat liar? He said that he was being spied on for a while. He must have been photographed even before I came here. Maybe they were hounding him so they could write an article like, Close coverage! No hint of wife for devoted husband president! If they were with a magazine that did want to write an article like that, we were able to block them. But if they'd never seen him with a woman before, they could have taken photos of our silhouette show out of surprise. We couldn't let our guard down yet. Whoever it was, they were looking for proof that Mr. Snail was single, and they could do it and be like, oh, he's having affairs in his house. Like, who cares? But, if that's their plan, then I've got something I can do. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't prove you're married, it proves you got a woman in your house, but I intended to do everything in my power to hinder their plans. Thinking that, I looked out the window. The weather was really amazing, and it helped me come up with a new plan. All right. I grinned and went to the bathroom to execute my idea. We're gonna dye our hair. After taking care of that, I headed to the kitchen to make breakfast. What should I make? Looks like Mr. Snail still isn't up yet. Maybe he didn't get much sleep last night. After what had happened, he might have been thinking about how to update security. And on top of that... Are we gonna flash back to that? Oh, yeah, hi. The CG. Is it money? Prestige? What's your goal? What's most important to you? And what keeps you going? Please tell me. Mr. Snail was really backed into a corner there. You were backed into a corner by Shelby, but okay. He looked so worried and seemed desperate for an answer. The phone call kind of threw things off, but what could I have said? It's worth doing, but I also want to prove my dad wrong. But if I told him that, I'd have to admit that I'm Cupid. As a realist, Mr. Snail would never believe that. Oh, he's gonna when he finds out Mars is the one trying to sabotage him, and that's just gonna be weird. And his new secretary is Jupiter. As I made breakfast, I decided I'd have to come up with a convincing answer. I heard movement from the bedroom. Oh, is he awake? Breakfast was nearly done, so it was good timing. I put the scrambled eggs on a plate as I heard the door swing open. What is this? Hey, you! Oh, good morning. Did you sleep well? She changed her hair, put on a wig or something, and that's why he's... Oh. We put our underwear outside? Is that what we did in the bathroom? I was like, did we put a wig on or something? That's what I was thinking. That's when he's like, you, what are you doing? And I was like, maybe he doesn't recognize us from the back? I don't know. You dry your underwear outside? Mr. Snail pointed to the yard, his face bright red. I had in fact hung up my underwear there to dry. Okay. So you noticed, huh? This was the plan I'd come up with earlier. Okay, so hanging our panties out to dry. I feel like that's just asking for trouble anyway. I decided to make the house look like it really did have a wife living in it. Normally folks just use a dryer for their underwear, but some people with yards that don't face the road hang them out to dry. So it shouldn't be weird to have underwear drying in the sun when the weather's so nice. Don't worry, it's just a ruse. I hung them out there in case the person from yesterday comes back. If there is someone stalking around your place and taking photos, we'll show them your wife actually exists. So I'm presenting it in a way that makes it obvious a family lives here. By showing them your underwear? At least use a handkerchief or something. What's wrong with underwear? I just love the fact that he's like, underwear. And she's like, what? It's underwear. Like, whatever. Like, doesn't have to be inappropriate. You're making it inappropriate. It's not like I'm like, what do you think my underwear looks like? What do you think this thong looks like? And that's all she's wearing. And then he's like, besides, I'm sorry. Were you not dick out at one of the episodes of Parasite House and you're freaked out about my underwear not on my body laying outside? I'm just saying. Dude, I don't know where to look. Mr. Snail glared straight at me. The wrinkle between his brows seemed 5 times deeper than usual. Because if you weren't interested in someone and you saw their underwear, you wouldn't be thinking, but the fact that you're like, ah! Yeah. Huh. Should I really not have used my underwear? Back in the share house, I had Gil wash it for me, so I didn't think it was bad or anything. Oh, God! That's gonna come up a Gil's route. Oh, I gotta touch your underwear. I mean, I just feel like Gil is the last person you should let touch your fucking underwear. Oh, good lord, that's gonna cause problems. Oh, dear God. I kind of love how absolutely clueless she is. Cause, like, I'm clueless, but she's just really clueless, and it's just funny, because you're like, I mean, underwear is not inherently sexual, you're making it that way, but, like, still kind of funny. I thought that Mr. Snail wouldn't care about these things either. He always seems so uninterested in anything besides work. Alright, then I'll switch it later to my handkerchiefs or stockings or something. Please, no stockings either. Oh my God, are you showing your ankles? Not even stockings? Oh well. Seriously? Pantyhose are like the least sexy thing, especially like if you have like the knee-high like socks that are like the pantyhose ones. So it's like, oh, if you were wearing like shorter pants or just like normal length pants, but you wanted to wear pantyhose, but you didn't want to wear a full pair of pantyhose, you have like the knee-high nude kind of pantyhose. Those are like the least sexy thing in existence. You could be wearing the sexiest lingerie and you put a pair of those on and it's like, you kind of ruined the vibe. I'm just saying. Like, we're not talking about like, here are my fishnet stockings that have like a seam up the back and they go up to my thighs and they're lacy on the top and like, out there with my fucking bustier. Like, I mean, stockings really aren't, like, God, Shelby. So funny. Alright, then just the handkerchiefs. Oh, by the way, I also made breakfast. Are you hungry? Oh, so you made it today. I see. Why, did you wanna? Mr. Snail glanced at his watch. He woke up later than usual, so maybe he doesn't have any time. Oh, if you're short on time, there are the jelly drinks you always have in the fridge. No, you went to the trouble of making it, so I'll eat it. After thinking about it a moment longer, he confirmed his decision. I'm sure he was weighing the benefits of going to work, but he chose breakfast. Knowing that, I couldn't help but smile. Alright, I'll bring it right over. I brought him the freshly made breakfast and sat across from him. Let's eat. Yes, thank you. After taking a bite, Mr. Snail looked surprised. This is really good. He mumbled to himself as he continued to eat. It was only a single sentence, but I couldn't stop smiling ear to ear. I felt like it was really from the heart. We ate in silence as I stole quick glances to gauge his reaction. He was focused on eating. Last night he looked so worried about everything. Yesterday he asked me why I was so focused on my work as an advisor, so maybe I'll bring that up again. I'd never seen him get so serious, so I didn't want to leave things vague or unsettled. Shelby, you asked me yesterday why I was so passionate about being an advisor. Mr. Snail's shoulders twitched suddenly. He immediately stopped eating. He's thinking about when he had you pinned to the glass. Oh! And then your underwear. And stockings! Oh! God, is that your pinky finger? It's showing. Look. He leaned in to listen, showing that he really wanted to know. I continued on. It really does mean a lot to me. Ever since college, I've loved bringing people together, even if they do get annoyed at me sometimes. Even now, my friend would call me the Cupid parasite. Well, maybe not so much these days, but still. But that's not all. Mr. Snail stared at me in silence. He was waiting for me to keep going. The other reason is to prove my father wrong. Your father. Saying Dad in front of Mr. Snail would seem too childish. I'm not used to talking like this, so it felt off to me. Yes, my father rejected everything that I wanted to do. He said that I'd never be able to accomplish what I wanted. I had a dream of learning romantic psychology and bringing people together, but all he could do was look down on me. This is a really good way to phrase what actually happened, you know? So that a human would understand, like, my dad was a god and he didn't believe that I could bring people together without using my bow and arrow. Because, yeah, then Shelby's going to be like, I just need to make a call. I'm going to need you to come pick her up and take her to the nut house? But in this way, like, he didn't believe in me and I wanted to prove him wrong. Okay. That's why I wanted to become the #1 bridal advisor at Cupid Corps, to prove him wrong. That's also why I left home. That's the reason I don't want the company to fall apart. I see. I left out the fact that Dad was a god, of course. Mr. Snail sighed deeply after I'd finished. I get it now. So that's why you're so passionate about getting promoted. Yes, but of course my top priority is still matching people together. I want everyone to find happiness in marriage. And that much is clear from your project proposal. Mr. Snail smiled and glanced at my bag. Part of my project plan was sticking out of it. I've never seen a project plan that was so considerate of the participants. I think it was very well done. But thank you. But it all makes sense now. I always wondered why you were so concerned about the company when you're not on the board of directors. You were worried about saving a place where you could continue matchmaking and to prove something to your father. That's right. So please go ahead and continue to put me to good use, sir. I hope that would be enough to convince him. He just smiled. Well, he's going to put us to good use at some point, but it's not going to be for the company. Please don't say, put me to use. I feel like we're a team now. Oh, look at him smiling at us with those bedroom eyes. Oh, you may be right. Then let's join together and defeat the enemy! I'm glad I can rely on you. Mr. Snail laughed out loud. It was the first open laughter I'd ever heard from him. I guess even Mr. Snail can laugh like this once in a while. Laughing makes him look younger, especially since his default face is always a serious frown. So, how's the project going? Oh, I found a public kitchen and recruited the help of a culinary expert. I also hired a designer to come up with a print ad. It sounds like it's going well. Oh, yes, Peter's... I double-clicked by accident, so I think... Okay, I didn't miss anything. Yes, Peter's helping too, so I think it can take place as planned. I'd like to host a trial event to check the facilities and plan. I was also hoping to enlist the help of the Parasite 5. The Parasite 5? Yes, they're not members anymore, but they did want to get married at one point. I thought they might cooperate. Oh my god, we're gonna get our boyfriends back! We're gonna get the gang back together! I couldn't guide those former members into marriage, but I still wanted to bring them on for the event. They're men seeking marriage, despite how difficult they are to deal with. They might not be seeking marriage anymore. They're a good source of feedback, and they can likely join on the day of the event. I'd already gotten approval from my manager. The plan was to cleverly ask about their current situations and try to bring them back into our matchmaking service. Girl. I'm trying to bring them back into our MLM. I see. That may be a good idea. I'll look into it. It's kind of like when you have, where you quit any service, gym, anything, and then they're, constantly sending you emails about stuff, and you're like, I quit for a reason. If you keep sending me this shit, I'm gonna quit again. Even though I'm not paying anymore. Sorry. It's late. I started late today. Because I was hungry earlier. I ate dinner, earlier than I normally do, and I had to come and fix my garbage disposal. So I was like, whatever, and then I logged off work, and then I was like, okay, I just watched some shit, and then I'm like, well, because, it's technically my Friday. It's not really Friday, but I was like, alright, normally I wouldn't, so I'm like, well, I'll just record later than normal. Anyway. Are you sure? But aren't you already pretty busy? This is part of the job. Send me the details later and I'll adjust my schedule to find the time. He's doing it because he's being a devoted husband. Thank you. If Mr. Snail will help keep an eye on things, that'll be really reassuring. That's why it's food is the spice of love, because we're totally going to do cooking with him. Come on. I want some female members, so I'll ask Clarice. Maybe I can invite Melanie, since I'm her current advisor. Melanie's search has been difficult. She told me the other day that she didn't have the confidence to go to the cafe. She might be willing if I told her it's just a trial run. Yeah, I'll go ahead and call her later. She better not fall in love with Gil, because he belongs to us. Maybe. Depends when we go down his route. But right now, all of them belong to me. I wrote her name down on the list of people to invite. I suddenly heard a small snicker. You really are passionate about your work. Oh, I'm sorry. We were in the middle of breakfast, weren't we? No, it's all right. I do the same thing all the time. Yeah. Pot, kettle. Mr. Snail smiled as he pointed to his phone. He was right, of course. We both love to work, so we end up back at it before we even realize it, which is why you're kind of perfect for each other, low-key, you know? But recently, all we do is talk like this, even when there's no specific purpose. Maybe it's because we call each other by name now? And this morning, he even woke up after me. Little by little, I think his prestige parasite side is lightening up. At this rate, he might be able to find someone to marry. You! As his advisor, I have to keep working hard, so then he marries me. I mean, I just love the fact that she's totally not even clued into the fact that she kind of has a little bit of a crush on him. She hasn't figured that one out. It's cute. I mentally pumped myself up once again as I put my notepad in my bag. I then enjoyed my breakfast with Mr. Snail in a nice, relaxed atmosphere. Upon arriving at the office, I started writing my emails to the Parasite 5. I also responded to a question from Melanie and sent her the information for the trial event. On top of that, I started writing a message to Clarice. A few days later, it was the day of my 5-star challenge, Cooking with Fire trial run. A long time no see. Thanks for inviting me. I'm really glad to see you again. Yeah, because he's blushing. Look at him. Not a bad kitchen. So, where are the girls? Hello again. I'm very much looking forward to this. We invited Owen? Like, we'll just pretend. Like, that's so funny. Hi there. I heard you can make ambrosia and nectar here. Is that true? Welcome. Come right this way. The Parasite 5 had all come. I handed them their aprons and cooking instructions, then led them to the kitchen. Where's Ryuki? Melanie had arrived first. She jumped in surprise and hid in the corner. Melanie's really scared. But the whole point of this project is to help shy members have fun, so I came up with ways to help them communicate naturally. Huh? Aren't we missing one of the parasites? Yeah, hi, that's what I just said. Oh yeah, Ryuki, right? He didn't respond to my email, so maybe he's not coming. Well, whatever. We're short on girls anyway. Yeah, but I did invite a few others, too. I kind of love her. I'm so glad. Oh my, what a wonderful kitchen. I'm so pleased to be here today, my adorable Cupid. If she's, like, not Minerva hiding, it'd be so funny. But, and the very beginning, in the intro thing, Minerva, they show Minerva with a voice, and then they show her, and I don't think it's the same. I never checked, but they show both of them. But you know what I mean? They don't show, like, Jupiter, and he's got his... So that's why I was like, Jupiter Peterson, you know. But they show Minerva and Catherine. So. What's with that lady with the caked-on makeup? See, she's hiding the fact that she's Minerva. I would die if that was the case. Everybody is hiding some shit. Well, she used to have a different advisor, but I took over for her after the Parasite 5 quit. And you are? Hello there. I'm Clarice Tia. I'm part of Cupid Core's systems development team. She's also got just like the biggest boobs ever, so I don't know if that is just like a side character big boobs or if that's like Minerva big boobs. You know what I'm saying? Clarice introduced herself curtly and quickly stood behind me as if to hide from Catherine. What's wrong, Clarice? I don't like her. Feels like her eyes are piercing into my soul. Huh? I've never seen Clarice act this shy before. She normally gets along with pretty much everyone. I mean, Minerva does show up in the human realm, so that makes sense, but this is all part of matchmaking. I have to work hard so that people who aren't compatible can still enjoy the event. Let's have all the participants gather around. Do you all have your checklists? Yes. Yep, I've got mine. Of course fucking Peter's here. Of course he's fucking here. Peter? When did you get here? I've been here the whole time. I heard there was an event today, so I'm here to help. He's also turning into a little bit of Raoul. They kind of have this similar... Look, Peter doesn't have a normal voice. Like, he doesn't. Because, whatever. Peter puffed out his chest, looking proud of himself. I just love imagining him being Jupiter in my head. And if it's not, I'm just gonna cry. But, like, we're going with it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm just gonna imagine it in my head every time he's like, haha, I'm really proud of myself, and just be like, it's just so funny. Like, because the only Jupiter that we had was like, just like storms off. You're like, he's antisocial and kind of angry and shit. And like, and he's this. It's like the best thing ever. You're like, well, you're kind of cheesy. Wait, I love you a little. I think it would ruin Peter for me if it's not. Like, because I just have this expectation. Ugh, Peter's here too. I don't really care for him either. Maybe I should go home. See? This is... Okay, she doesn't like Catherine. She doesn't like Peter. Peter, I'm like 99% sure is going to be fucking Jupiter, okay? You know, whatever. If he's not, he's some kind of god, okay? She's like, I don't really... He gives me weird vibes. Catherine does too. Minerva. I'm just saying. I feel like Catherine is Minerva in hiding. You know, because she got the glasses on, she got the thing. I don't remember what Minerva's eyes are, but Catherine's look blue. But, like, you know, she's got caked on makeup. She's put tons of makeup on to try to hide so that we don't recognize her. Wait! We already have too few women. That'll ruin the balance even more. Huh? But I'm not here to meet anyone. Oh. And then how about we go somewhere together? I'll show you the sweetest dreams. Alan, stop hitting on everyone! For now, everyone check the checklist for the dish you're going to cook. Did you know people started making bread almost 5,000 years ago? They found pottery fragments and extracted the yeast. I'd love to cook using that. They also say gods lived among the people, which means they ate the same things as... Hey, can you explain this part to me? Why did we invite them? This is going to go off so badly because we literally brought the worst people here. I love them, but they're the worst. They are just so, like, incompetent. Like, they're all slightly himbos, okay? They're all slightly stupid. Wow, Gil is shouting with so much energy. He seems to be really motivated because he's happy to see you again. It's always easier to make progress if there's even one person that's motivated. You basically tell him to get on all fours and act like a dog and he'll do it. I mean, feeling relieved, I started to explain how I expected the event to progress. After getting everyone to wash their hands, I called over the culinary expert to start the cooking. You're like, guys, this is just a trial event. We just want to see how it goes. You're not actually here to meet anyone. It's fine. Clarice. Alan's fucking corner. Come on, everyone. It's plenty cooked already. Huh? No way. Isn't this still raw? The ingredient doesn't change color. This is a 5-star difficulty after all. Oh, that ingredient. Hey, our darling. Are you in love? I can see that you've become even more beautiful than before. Less talking, more cooking. Watch your fingers or you'll cut yourself. And if you're gonna flirt, flirt with the other girls. Huh? Is it really okay to add wine? I think ambrosia has a better consistency. Oh, I dropped an egg. Pardon me. I'm just a dainty young lady, you know. I feel like this is Minerva fucking hiding. It's like Minerva in Minerva's version of drag. I'm just saying, she's wearing like crazy things. She's got like, and she's, I'm just a dainty young lady. If she's not, okay. This is goddamn amazing. Oh, and this apple looks golden to me. And now that brings me back. Apples are meant to be hoarded. Cutting it in half is such a waste. Oh, I'm sorry. Could you hold this steady for me? Sure, if you don't mind. Everyone was making a lot of commotion during my 5-star challenge, Cooking with Fire challenge. It's actually going well. Owen and Melanie are getting along much better than I expected. So this is what you're gonna do? Your girl that doesn't even have a Sprite, you're gonna give her my side piece? I don't think so, game. My side piece still belongs to me. Owen's the earnest type, so Melanie shouldn't have a hard time talking to him. It's better than any one of my boyfriends, but still, I don't like that. He's basically part of my marriage with Shelby. He's a package deal. He can't have a girlfriend on the side. That's not how it works. He's my boyfriend on the side, but Shelby knows about it. We're like a throuple. I should check to see if Owen's registered as a member. I thought about that as I guided everyone along through the recipes. I just want to see Peter and Gil trying to make something together. After about an hour, the cooking was finally done. Actually, I want to see Raoul and Peter together because I want to see Raoul being like, oh my god, and then like Jupiter, and Peter's like, so hard not to smite you. Curious. Are we finished? I think we are. Yeah, we're definitely done. I saw completed dishes on the tabletop. Some looked delicious, while others would make me hesitate. Hey! Who made this? This wasn't part of the recipe. Oh, sorry. I thought you might want some dessert. There was some extra flour, so... And what's this? Don't add in some creepy-looking concoction. Huh? And that's nectar. The recipe seemed different, so I added some salsa planet sauce, too. Please don't add weird stuff to the drinks. And what is that sauce, anyway? Whatever, the other dishes seem fine, but it's not complete without sampling the final product. Wash your hands and take a seat. I realized the culinary researcher was starting to sound more like Minerva/Catherine. The culinary expert clapped his hands. Oh, it's supposed to be his hands? Are you sure? Because before, Alan was like, are you in love? Because you're looking really sexy. Unless Alan's bisexual. I don't know, maybe. He just always talked about falling in love with women. Not, I'll fall in love with anybody who's in love. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, her hands and guided everyone to the right place. Just then I heard the door open. Ryuki? So you actually are cooking. Ryuki-kun, you made it! Late. Really late. My store isn't far from here, and your message said that you were making Japanese food. Well, I'm glad you're here. That's right. Would you like to sample our Japanese cuisine? Ta-da! Yamata no orochi! Orochi tail de Cirrus? Huh. Oh, did you just come up with that name on the spot? Well, it's Japanese, right? And Yamata no Orochi is a famous Japanese god. Is it not? Yamata no Orochi. I'm actually kind of surprised that, but then and then the rest of it threw me off. Wow. It gets killed in the end, though. Ah, how romantic. How's everything going here? I heard the door open again, and Mr. Snail strolled in. Oh, Mr. Snail, thank you for coming. We just finished cooking. Would you like to join us? You don't mind? Not at all. There's plenty to go around. We just need to figure out what to do with this weird drink. Oh, I don't mind drinking it. Your agent will get mad at me, so no. Can we just eat already? It's gonna get cold. Oh, right. Everyone, let's dig in. At my urging, they picked up their utensils and started eating. Wow, this is delicious. The salad is great, too. Can I get some for you? Oh, I'm fine. I can do it myself. I'm closer, though. That was the exchange when Owen got a bit of salad for Melanie. I think these two really are quite compatible. Stop giving away my side boyfriend! My Cupid habits took over as I eagerly observed them. Hey, this gratin isn't bad. I was wondering about why there were so many weird dishes, but it's actually pretty edible. Yeah, I didn't think that ambrosia would taste like this, but... Speaking of which, when you say ambrosia, are you referring to the smoked bacon? How is this 5-star difficulty? It's just some regular udon noodles. Hey, that's 5-star difficulty for white people, okay? It's no ordinary udon. I made that from scratch with homemade flour. Okay, well, that's impressive. But this is Peter we're talking about, so. Gail's the one that cut it so perfectly, though. It's pretty hard to cut them all exactly the same length. But it sure was fun. Even in the midst of everyone enjoying themselves, I heard her faint voice admitting that she was having fun. I'm so glad Melanie enjoyed it. I was worried about what would happen at first, but it seems like people are able to get along through the power of cooking. I can definitely carry this over to the actual event. It seems like they all had a part to play. They cooked one meal all together, but everybody had a different kind of part to play, and not like, oh, in pairs. So that's kind of interesting, because then you're like mingling and working with everybody there. It's not just like, oh, you're paired up with that person, and like, what if you don't get along with that person? Or you're not there. Or like, you're going to this to meet someone, not, oh, well, I got set up on a date here. You know what I mean? This is more like a meetup event where you mingle and talk to different people, so it makes more sense that. But it just sounded like what they were gonna do is like, we're gonna pair people up, and then they're gonna make dishes, and this is more like, we're gonna make a bunch of different shit, and everybody's gonna have their part, and everybody's gonna kind of work together and mingle and like, you know. I was thinking about that as I reached for a bit of the baked gratin. How hot! I carelessly touched the hot plate that the gratin was on. A sharp pain shot through me and my mind went blank. What the heck? It's so hot. Ow, ow, ow! This wasn't the kind of pain you got from tripping or bumping into something. I'd never experienced anything like it. She's never burned herself in 6 years? Wow. I didn't know what to do and just started turning left and right. Someone grabbed my arm from the side. It's gonna be Shelby. You idiot. What are you doing? You have to cool it off. Mr. Snail grabbed my arm, forced me to stand up, and dragged me to the sink. He turned on the tap and put my hand under the running water. Everyone knows you need to cool off a burn. What were you thinking? Meanwhile, Catherine and Peter are up there like, you do? I'm sorry. I've never felt something this hot before. Is this what it feels like to get burned? Of course. And don't tell me you've never been burned before. All the time when I cook, Jesus. I haven't. This genuinely was my first experience. I nodded and Mr. Snail sighed. You're lucky it's never happened while you were cooking before. Right. Back in college, Gil did all the cooking. And when I started working, Clarice and I took turns, so I've only really cooked for a little over a year. I guess I really was lucky it had never happened before. By sheer chance, today was the first time. Yes, but you get to hold hands with Shelby now. What are you going to do if it scars? Burns are no joke. No, really? I'm sorry. I really didn't know. Putting it under cold running water immediately is the best method. And then he's going to be like, look, there's a burn scar on your hand. And then like someday we'll be a goddess and he'll be like, I don't believe you're really Spacey. And you'll be like, do you see the burn on my hand? It is you. If that's what happens, game, seriously, no, don't. Come on, I can't. I understand, but I think it's starting to cool down. No, not yet. He held my wrist firmly to keep my hand under the cooling water. Look, he looks like stressed the fuck out in his Sprite. He doesn't have to grip so hard. I'm not going anywhere. Since I was freaking out earlier, he must have thought he had to keep a close eye on me. I've completely lost his trust. I guess it's my fault for not having any clue about burns. He didn't lose his trust. He's worried about you. The water continued to splash away on my hand. The icy water was starting to make my hand numb, but I stayed put under Mr. Snail's strong grasp. So my hand was red from the burn and now it's turning blue? Yep, that's when we stop. After a while, he finally let go. Thank goodness. Hopefully it won't scar. Right. Thank you. No, I only did what I had to. I just hope you're okay. Mr. Snail suddenly froze up. I turned around and everyone was staring at us. Oh, the Like, why are they staring? He's like holding a hand underwater and he's just holding your hand out. Like, you two sure are close. It's not super romantic what just happened. You know what I mean? Oh, are you two dating already? What? Don't be silly. That's impossible. Yes, Mr. Snail has a lovely wife after all. Yeah, me. Oh, yeah? And the two of you are dating. That's awesome for me. I really wish you wouldn't lick your lips when you say stuff like that. He kind of is, though, and even in his sprite, that's funny. Right. A devoted husband. Yeah, you're not dating, right? Phew. Burns can be serious. You should put some ointment on it. Yeah, thanks. I've been talking to him the way I'd gotten used to doing, but this time it was in front of a crowd. Since I was so desperate to seem like his wife, I guess I gave the impression that we were actually close. You are. Then again, I guess it's good if they think we're dating, since that was the goal in the first place. The problem being I'd let it come out in a situation that wasn't a business dinner. I glanced over and saw Mr. Snail looking at his phone with a deep frown. It seemed as if he was writing a work email, but I'd been around him long enough that it was just his way of avoiding the situation. To know. It'd feel like it should say to know, but it was just his way, yeah. Starting to know what Mr. Snail is actually thinking. But I'm glad the burn wasn't serious. I should thank Mr. Snail for taking care of it that quickly. The numbness was still there as I touched my other hand and reminded me again of the searing heat from before. It's been 6 years since I came to the human realm, but there's still lots of things I haven't experienced yet. I'm lucky to be surrounded by people willing to teach me. Gil, Claris, all of the Parasite 5, and Mr. Snail, of course. Everyone around me has taught me so many things. Ever since I started living with Mr. Snail, I've learned a whole new set of values. What to do when a man and woman live together. This is an important experience to have in order to do my matchmaking. Spacey, here, use this to cool it off some more. Just then, Gil burst in with a mountain of ice packs. I don't need that many. Yes, you do. You have to ice it properly. Oh, Gil. You always take things to the extreme. Shelby's over there like, what the fuck are you touching my fake wife for? Speaking of which, back when we were roommates, Gil always made a huge fuss whenever I got hurt. It was fun back then. Thought about those good times as I applied the packs that Gil had brought. Nick Shelby's like so sus about this. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? That concluded the trial for my 5-star challenge, Cooking with Fire event. All that was left was to present the project to the world at large. My back hurts so bad, like my shoulders are so tense. Ugh. That same night, I found myself in Mr. Snail's car. After the event, I returned to the office to do some more work. Waiting at the elevator to go home, I ran into Mr. Snail. I'm sorry for having you drive me home while you're still working. No, it's my fault that your recent commute is longer. Let me help out once in a while. He's so considerate. Mr. Snail's so earnest. He may be a workaholic, but he never forgets to be considerate like this. Your trial event was a great success. I can't wait for the actual announcement. Thank you. I was glad to see that Melanie enjoyed it. You really do care about our members. His voice was soft and kind. I could tell thinking about that really did make him happy. Possibly because he's so passionate about work, Mr. Snail notices more than others when someone puts in the effort. He notices other employees often and always recognizes them. I have nothing but respect for him. Oh, wait, that's not true. I have respect for him, but also love. I can tell that he cares about our members, too, since I play the role of his wife. In our business dinners, I always hear about what kind of a husband and great all-around person he is. Our dinners are usually only with major presidents who are much older. They seem to treat him like he's their son. The prestige parasite. He's a workaholic that's fixated on his status, but he doesn't think that the ends justify the means. He's focused on his work and hard on himself. He's direct and considerate of others. He's the definition of a moral man of character. If it weren't for his secret, he could have easily gotten married. Unfortunately, none of the female members I manage are a good fit for him. Despite my efforts, there are still such things as luck and fate. I don't need to look down from Celestia to see that. Sorry, bird. I know I'm like messing you up, but it's just... I know, but it's just my back between my shoulder blades is so tense right now that I need to like... I'm starting to stretch. And I need to like kind of like adjust my muscles, and the poor bird's like, I'm just sitting on your shoulder trying to snuggle in your neck, but you keep wiggling. But that's why I think matchmaking is so interesting. I touched my necklace and gazed out the car window at the night sky. I hope Mr. Snail can find his wife soon. I'd even considered using my Cupid's bow as a last resort. A few minutes later, the car arrived in front of the house. Here we are. Thank you very much. I undid my seatbelt, then turned to Mr. Snail, who was sitting motionless. Are you going to head back to work now? That was my plan, yes. As usual, he's always about work. I enjoy working just as much, so I couldn't really say anything. You know, Shelby, we've never had dinner together at home, just the two of us. We talked about it before, but ultimately his work made it impossible. Well, we were the one who kind of fucked it up the last time. He said, let's have dinner tonight, and then we didn't come up, you know? I think they forgot that. I put on the attitude of a sulking wife, and he seemed to stumble over his words, unsure what to say. That's... If you're always at work, then they'll find out you're not as devoted as you say. Sorry, I'm just teasing you. I gave him a sidelong glance and grinned at him. His reply was simply to frown once again. I wish there was something I could do. I still have so much work to do. I know. I love my work too, you know. When you're really on a roll, it can be too much of a hassle to even stop and eat. Yes, getting simple food is enough to get your blood sugar up. As long as I can work, it's fine. Right. I know that feeling where he doesn't want to spend time eating. I also know that feeling of wanting to get back to the office. But eating dinner alone's no fun, and making dinner for the sake of someone can be a lot of fun. I guess I'd let my honest feelings slip out. Food tastes better when you make it and enjoy it together. That's what made me come up with the cooking event in the first place. Of course, it can also be the source of fights, so some caution is definitely required. I know it's too sudden to do it today, but if you can find the right time, would you like to eat dinner together? I looked at Mr. Snail, sitting in the driver's seat, and he finally looked back at me. His eyes appeared different from normal. It was as if he was serious and hesitant at the same time. There was even a slight pain in his eyes. The streetlights appeared to make them waver. After a moment, he turned off the engine. Right. I suppose we should eat dinner together once in a while. Do you mean it? Yes. Oh, look, he's kind of blushing. Oh, he's slightly embarrassed. It's cute. He laughed and undid his seatbelt. Apparently that once in a while meant tonight. For some reason, it made me really happy. Yeah, because he's not like, yeah, someday. He's like, no, now. Then you'll let me make you dinner tonight? No, I'll take care of that. I don't want you to hurt yourself again. I burned myself once, dude. Been around for 6 years on this earth. And eons before that not on Earth. That's right. Today was also the day he'd seen me get burned for the first time. Then how about we make it together? You weren't there for the actual cooking today, after all. Fine. And does your burn still hurt? Not at all. Thanks to you, it doesn't hurt one bit. Also, it's funny, he's like, you could get hurt again. It's the first time I've gotten hurt ever cooking. So I think I'm pretty, it's not like, it's the first time I was cooking and I chopped my finger and then I also like accidentally shredded one of my finger and then I burned myself and then where you like injured yourself repeatedly where he's like, you shouldn't be doing this. One time in 6 years, granted, like she said, she's only been cooking for about a year total, but still, one time in a year, it's pretty impressive. Anyway, that's good. It is good, Shelby. We got out of the car and headed inside. I felt like saying home sweet home. It really did feel like this was my home now. That feeling is probably what made me want to eat together with him. Lost in thought, I followed Mr. Snail into the house. After that, we made dinner together. We took our time and also enjoyed dinner in a relaxed mood. This was different from breakfast and the business meals. This was like a proper alone time that we got to have together. The orange hue of the light shone gently on the food. The freshly made dinner was still hot. We talked about unimportant topics as we ate dinner. Phew, I guess doing this kind of thing once in a while isn't so bad. I told you so. Eating dinner at home can be very relaxing. Yes, I never really realized how different it feels from eating out. He seemed to be completely relaxed as he sipped his post-meal coffee. Oh. Are you sure you don't want anything stronger? No, thank you. I still have to drive after this. Apparently, he still intended to head back to the office. Speaking of which, Shelby, I've rarely ever seen you drink. Even at business dinners, you only have a few sips. Do you not like alcohol? Well, no, not exactly. I do enjoy drinking alone sometimes. I have a full fucking wet bar in my bedroom. Oh, really? Even then, I've never seen you drink. She's forgetting that night in the Parasite house where they all got shit-faced and he was like, I need to go take a nap. Did you see how fucking hungover he got? I typically drink at bars, not at home. So that's why. I imagine Mr. Snail drinking alone at a dark bar, and it definitely fit his image. Well, if you ever need some company, you can always call me. Thanks. I'll keep that in mind. Oh, we're gonna have a nice clandestine rendezvous in a dark bar. Despite his response, I doubted he would ever actually call me. He probably likes drinking alone because it's easier. It would actually be sexy as fuck if he did call you up one night. I'm at this dark, swanky jazz bar. Put on something sexy and meet me. Okay! But it sounds like he does relax when he's by himself. I thought maybe he didn't drink because it interfered with his work or something. He doesn't spend any time eating after all. But he does know how to relax in his own way. Knowing that brought a smile to my face. He's also been getting more sleep than usual lately. That's reassuring too. We're having a positive impact on her husband's life. Before, he averaged maybe 3 hours of sleep a night. But recently, I've caught him sleeping for up to 6 whole hours! Oh my god. Only? Because I live with him, he might be matching my daily life rhythm to an extent. You only sleep for 6 hours? God. Speaking of which, the rhythm when living with Gil and Clarice, and then just with Clarice, was pretty different. People seem to get influenced by others surprisingly easily. I'd be really happy if Mr. Snail can enjoy his time off a bit more now that I'm here. Then again, we haven't gotten to the point of actually having any time off to enjoy yet. But he started enjoying his meals more and sleeping a bit longer. Just that is a huge change for him. Eating like this certainly makes me sleepier. It might end up affecting my work, and not in a good way. Oh, would you like to go to sleep? I can tuck you in. You never let up, do you? He made a wry smile as he deflected my little joke. I was just glad we were able to joke around like that now. I felt like I'd be able to play the role of his wife even better going forward. Phew, and thank you for the meal. I should get going now. Don't be sleepy while you're driving and fall asleep at the wheel, because that would suck. Mr. Snail looked at his watch and stood up. Let me walk you to the door. I grabbed the jacket he'd taken off when we got home and quickly made my way over to him. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, Shelby. Right. He's like, oh god, you're walking me to the door, calling me Shelby and putting my jacket on for me. It's so cute. Hand him his briefcase. Kiss on the cheek. I'll have a martini waiting for you when you get home, dear. Make sure your apron looks nice. I handed him his jacket and saw him off like a proper wife. He looked a bit embarrassed as he put the jacket on. Thank you. Well, I'm off. Just a second. Let me fix your tie. Oh, how sexy. It must have gone crooked when he put his jacket on. I reached out to fix it. There, all better. I let go and he suddenly grabbed my wrist. Ooh. I was like, oh, are you gonna make out with me now? What? Mr. Snail was staring at me for some reason. Whatever he was feeling, his pale eyes didn't reveal a thing. They were a cool blue, like ice or snow. His hand on my wrist was just as cold. The same hands that took care of my burn. The rough hands of a man. Oh, hi. She's like, wait. His lips quivered a bit as if he was about to say something. But he didn't. He just let go and turned away from me. I should be back by 1 o'clock. Sure, have a nice evening. Because he was like, what are you doing? He liked us fixing his tie, but he was also afraid of it. He opened the door and walked out. I heard his car drive off. I looked down at my hand. It was cold when he grabbed me, but for some reason, now it felt hot. Phew! You fuse a lot. I returned to my office and sat in my chair. Took off my jacket and leaned back. Felt like I was running on empty. Maybe that was the wrong move back there. She handed me my jacket and fixed my tie. It was like she really was my wife. I almost moved in for a kiss at that point. But then I remembered at the last moment that this was just part of the job. I managed to stop myself, but it felt too awkward after that. This is only a job. She's doing it perfectly because it's her duty. I thought I understood that. But to me, it seemed like she really enjoyed our meal together. I did. Oh, and actually, I feel like things would have happened. Like, if he had just kissed you, and then been like, ah! And then just left, it would have been like, actually, I enjoyed it. And then we both would have realized we were in love. But we can't. We got like 70 chapters left, so, you know. And my guard was completely relaxed because of that. And that's why I grabbed her hand without thinking. But that's also what caused me to come to my senses. I didn't think I'd ever desire someone like that. Oh, hi. I wish I didn't feel this way. Shh, no, it's okay. Just let go and enjoy the feelings. Until now, even on my off hours, everything I did affected my work. Eating was just replenishing energy. Business meals were just places to socialize with clients. But she brought color into my life. She enjoyed eating with me, and the time we spent together was so relaxing. I've never had such a warm sensation at a dinner table. We do eat breakfast together, so I thought it wouldn't be much different, but it was. In the morning, we're both rushing to get ready for work, but a meal at the end of the day is completely different. I never thought it'd be something I'd be so reluctant to step away from. What should I do? In the car, Spacey sulked a bit, saying that she wanted to eat together. But then she saw me off to work with a smile. Have a nice evening. The joy I felt hearing someone say that with such trust in their eyes. It's completely new to me. It's like that act gave me a reason to come into work. Her smile gives me the energy to push even further. And to be honest, I've never even thought that this was the life I wanted. I didn't desire it, so I didn't know anything about it. But now that I do, I don't want to lose it. How can I continue this life? All I can think about is how to keep this. How about making it a 2-year contract? Or increase her pay? No, that's not the problem. I keep thinking about it in terms of a business owner. I shake my head to rid myself of these thoughts. You gotta make a move on me. The rules of business don't always apply to human interaction. I've failed those things so many times before now. I also feel guilty for only thinking about how this is affecting me. What does she think about all of this? She shook my hand with a smile, saying she's willing to fight alongside me. I think of that smile again now. She's a dependable partner, but I can't help but wonder if she's actually enjoying this life. She plays the role of my wife, but does she find it draining? No, we love you too. I like how he's just like, she just must think this is such a horrible inconvenience. I want to ask, but I'm afraid to find out the answer. But it's so cute, because, like, she doesn't know. And then all of a sudden she'd be like, no, actually, I really miss this, and I love you. Wait, what? I've tried to be careful to ensure that if she does find someone she wants to date or marry, that choice is open to her. But it's too late now. I don't want to lose this life. I know I shouldn't try to tie her down. That's so cute. You're like, because he's actually like, he still hasn't, I feel like, even though he's like, I don't want to tie her down, and like, but I want to keep this life. He hasn't quite realized, and I was going to kiss her, and it was going to be, I just want to keep this ruse forever. Let's just keep this business arrangement. But you don't realize, I don't think he realizes that this isn't just like, oh, I enjoy this life of having a fake wife. You enjoy the real aspect of having a real wife that is me because I'm well, her, but because we're doing everything to. That's what it is. Like, I don't think you put the pieces quite together. You're like, this fake life is great. And you're like, no, but what you want is the real version of this fake life. You want us in your life like this, but not like, you know what I mean? We're selling you the dream. You just haven't quite woken up and gone, oh no, wait, this is why I like it. It's so cute. You don't know that you're kind of in love with us. You just think it's just this business arrangement. Sounds fun. Oh. I thought this would just be an interim solution until I really get married. But I can't do it anymore. What am I supposed to do? I'd kept this lifestyle far away from me specifically because I didn't want to worry about it like this. The feelings of romance are also illogical. It's so exhausting, I just don't want to deal with any of it. But this fixation won't go away. All of my principles seem to be crumbling away. No, these are just the thoughts of a business owner that doesn't want to lose a model employee. No, sweetie, you just don't want to lose the fake girlfriend. With my eyes closed, I try to convince myself of that. But I know I'm just lying to myself about these budding emotions. Ah, see, now he's getting clued. He's like, wait, I actually like you. Yeah, okay, all right, there you go. I didn't think you were there yet, but all right, you're getting there. Either way, it's doomed to fail. I mean, it's gonna fail and then be fine. Like, that's the way it works. There's gonna have to be, like, this moment of, like... Anyway. Gah! None of these photos prove he's single at all! They're all lovey-dovey in every single one of them! MQ, are you absolutely sure he's single? Yes, I'm sure of it. But he appears to have a co-conspirator now. That's true, so Owen doesn't know. Owen doesn't know that we're faking being his wife? Interesting. This is bad news. Those CCAM people are getting in the way, too. We're calling it quits on finding proof of his single status. Just be glad my special skills kept you from being found out. Oh, so Owen was the one taking photos. At least we can proceed to the next phase now. And at that point, he'll surely meet his end. Are you all set on your end? Why are you trying to kill Shelby? I'm so curious. Yes, absolutely. We just recently obtained some new information, and we'll be the first to get it out into the world. Is that so? Well done, MQ! Just you watch, Cupid Core. We're gonna crush you like a bug. I mean, corporate espionage, you know? He's like, oh, hey, there's someone spying on us. You want us to think it's Peter, but it's not. It's totally Owen. The wedding of Rome and Julie. The next morning, it kind of sucks that each chapter is like an hour, because it really does mean that, like, it's going to be like 12 hours. Like, because 3, 4. There's at least 11 chapters after this one, including this one, I think. I'm pretty sure I just counted this one. So, like, that's like 11 more fucking hours. Which isn't a bad thing, but there's a point where you're like, wow, that's excessively long, I feel like. Like, well, I mean, I guess not, because even in Olympia Soiree, everything is, what, like 14-hour routes, so... Huh. I mean... Anyway. I woke up and headed to the living room, but Mr. Snail wasn't there. Huh. There was a note on the table. I took a look and it said, sorry, but I'm heading out early today. Mr. Snail's so proper, leaving a note and all. He could have just texted me. I was happy to get a handwritten note, though. In that case, I'll just have a nice, simple breakfast today. He's leaving because he doesn't want to be around us, because he's in love with us and he doesn't want to tell us. I got some cereal and milk and headed to the table. I turned on the TV for the first time in a while. I don't know if I should turn it on when I was I didn't know if I should turn it on when I was with Mr. Snail, so I hadn't been watching it recently. No. And so, Rome and Julie Wedding is planning a marriage hunting event, a new service using cooking. Rome and Julie Wedding is I'm assuming their competitor, the competitor. Okay. They stole my Owen! Rome and Julie Wedding? I never heard of a company by that name, so I focused on the screen. What I saw almost made me drop my cereal. What's going on here? I put down the bowl and jumped up in front of the TV. Here's Main Street and 2nd Avenue, where the newly opened dating agency Rome and Julie Wedding is located. Rome and Julie Wedding is becoming a hot topic, starting with its first year free membership and more for new members, along with new services. Other new services. For more about their new services... No matter how many times I read them, I don't understand the words on the screen. Or more like, I don't want to understand. Because right there in bold letters, it said 5-star challenge, cooking with fire. Oh, sue! Sue them! I went to the office and the company was in an uproar about the news. Hey, what are we going to do about this? It's the exact same name as the plan we were going to do. I finally learned the catchphrases to use for our members and everything. Are we going to cancel it? Or will we still force it through? About that, what should I do? I've been thinking about it all morning. I can't announce it as is anymore. Everything about it is the exact same plan. They'll just say we stole their idea, despite the fact they stole mine. Do we have everything dated? But the flyers are done and we finalized the menu too. I'd already arranged for the ingredients and kitchen. What should I do? All the effort I put into preparing everything seems totally wasted. It makes me so sad. This hurts. I needed to think, but I was still in shock, so I couldn't get my thoughts together. Damn it, Owen! So they're gonna start the service first. Could this be... Oh, I get it. You stole that idea for Rome and Julie Wedding, so that's why it was so well made. Huh? I would never do that. I turned to argue and saw a look of contempt from the planning department woman from before. I thought it was weird. You're not even from the planning department, but somehow your project plan passed. True, it was a really good plan, but I've never heard you talk about wanting to put together any kind of proposal. Someone who never even wanted to make a plan could never come up with something that good. You must have stolen the idea. Everyone nearby started to look at me with suspicion. Did she really steal it? Maybe she's been cheating her way to the top all along. She's cute enough. She could definitely have been flirting with the boss all this time. That's not going to help that we're, living in his house. I could hear them thinking all of those things. I could feel a cold hand grip my heart. I felt like I was suffocating. I started to feel dizzy, and the sounds around me started to fade. I've never cheated or stolen anything. I didn't succeed by sucking up to my boss. I just wanted our members to be happy. I came up with it all myself. You stole that idea to win the competition? You're the worst. I'm sure you cheated your way to get the top advisor spot, too. No, Then why did Rome and Julie Wedding start the service first? It's because they thought of it before you. You must have stolen it. You stole their idea. She's not the kind to cheat like that. As her colleague, you should know that. I like the fact that this bitch just got schooled by a boss. He ain't our boyfriend yet, but boyfriend material. If he wasn't before, he is now. Huh? I looked toward the familiar voice. Mr. Snail was by my side after hearing all the commotion. Look, he looks so angry. Sir? Seeing the way she works, you know she doesn't cut corners. You work with her, so you should know better than anyone. Oh shit, we should have stopped when we got to this part, but whatever. Mr. Snail, I got distracted. He defended me, and he also recognized my work. When we got into work, I should have stopped there, but whatever. My eyes felt hot. I wanted to cry, but I made two tight fists and held back those tears. Now is not the time for that. Okay, but even ignoring that, what are we going to do about our plan? It totally overlaps with Rome and Julie Wedding. Let's see. We'll make use of whatever we can and announce it as a new plan. I saw the trial event yesterday and it was well done. It's unfortunate we can't announce it as is, but there are ways around it. How much prep has been done? Oh, the ingredients have been ordered. The homepage is done and we just submitted the final flyer design. The flyer was submitted last night, so they could still be checking the data. They may be able to stop the print if I call them. I see. Then call them and ask them to stop right away. Okay. I nodded and quickly went to call the printer. I explained the situation, and fortunately they hadn't started printing yet, so they were able to pause the process. We were able to stop the print. And that's good. Now focus on rebuilding the project plan. And at this point, I expect everyone here to help her. And this is meant to celebrate our 15th year of service. Everyone here has pitched in to make it happen, and I expect that to continue. Mr. Snail looked at each employee's face one by one. Everyone tensed up at his gaze, and I melted. Mr. Snail is amazing. He was able to change that atmosphere here instantly. No one looks dissatisfied, except for the bitch. Now's not the time to worry about what's past. Everyone knows that we have to join together and move forward. You there. I want you to research Rome and Julie wedding. Huh? But I'm with the planning department. Yeah, and you're also a bitch. And there are some suspicions of other clients whose plans have been copied. Your plan of matchmaking to our backpackers was also rumored to be announced by them. Huh? President, you know about the plans I built? Of course. I looked through all of the plans drafted by my employees. In any case, I want you to research Rome and Julie wedding. This is a job only you can do. Oh, look at that! You're like playing to her ego. Good boy. I understand. And there's been increased misinformation campaigns directed at our company recently. I'm also asking for that to be looked into. Our company mission doesn't change no matter what our competitors do. We must guide our members to happiness. There can be many hardships like this, but this is when we must join together. I'm counting on all of you. I don't know why I read that so fucking weird. I could not read for some reason right now. Yes! Aye, aye, Captain! Anyway, I don't know. After hearing Mr. Snail's words, everyone gets back to work. Even the colleague that was glaring at me earlier. Mr. Snail's amazing. He looks at every single one of us and is good at raising motivation. He also gave that bitch a job and was like, you're the only one who can do this. And she was like, oh my god, okay. Totally forgot she's a whore. Mr. Snail's a workaholic, the prestige parasite, but there are things only he can do. Even as the prestige parasite, he still cares about his work as president. He cherishes this company. That's why I can't deny him of that title. I'll be returning now. I'll be counting on everyone to do what's necessary. Also, I need to talk to you. Come with me. Yes. He said that in a serious tone, so that made me stand up straight. I was wondering if he was going to get mad at me as I followed him. Of course not! He's not going to get mad at us. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here because we're way over time now, so I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.